Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas from compelling sources. Today, we're diving into Morgan Housel's incredible book, The Psychology of Money. And let me tell you, it argues that getting good with money has very little to do with how smart you are, and a whole lot more to do with how you act.
So let's kick things off with a real head-scratcher. A true story about two men and their wildly different financial destinies.
All right, so on one side, you've got Ronald Reed. Now, this guy was a gas station attendant and a janitor for most of his life. Super humble, super quiet. But when he passed away at 92, this unassuming janitor left behind an $8 million fortune, all because he saved what little he could and just patiently invested it in good, solid companies.
Then, on the other side of the coin, you have Richard Fuscone. He was the total opposite. Harvard MBA, big-shot finance executive. He lived in this massive mansion that cost, get this, $90,000 a month just to maintain. But when the 2008 financial crisis hit, his whole world, which was built on a mountain of debt, came crashing down. He went completely bankrupt.
This just begs the question, a question that's really at the core of this whole book. How on earth is it possible for a regular guy, a janitor with zero financial training, to absolutely crush an expert with the best education money can buy?
Well, the answer isn't about intelligence or fancy degrees or secret stock tips. It's about something much more simple and way more powerful.
I mean, really think about this for a second. This kind of story is pretty much unique to the world of finance. You'd never, ever hear a story about a janitor performing better heart surgery than a Harvard surgeon, right? Or building a bridge that's safer than one designed by a whole team of engineers. It just doesn't happen.
And that brings us to the main idea of the book. Financial success isn't a hard science like physics or chemistry. It's a soft skill. It all comes down to how you behave, not how much you know. You see, Ronald Reed was patient, Richard Fuscone was greedy, and that gap in behavior turned out to be way more important than any gap in their resumes.
So here's the big mind shift we need to make. We're taught to think about money like it's physics, with these concrete rules and formulas. But it's not. It's so much more like psychology. It's messy, it's emotional, and it's driven by the weird, unpredictable things that we humans do.
Okay, so if behavior is the name of the game, what's pulling the strings? Let's take a look under the hood at the psychological engine that drives how we think about money.
So, yeah, if behavior is really that important, what's actually shaping it?
Well, just think about your own life. We're all shaped by the generation we were born into, the parents who raised us, the economy we grew up in, and honestly, a whole lot of just plain dumb luck that we ran into along the way.
Now, get ready for this, because this idea it's a big one. Your personal experience with money is this tiny, microscopic sliver of everything that has ever happened with money in the history of the world, and yet, that tiny sliver makes up maybe 80% of how you think the entire system works. Your truth isn't the truth, it's just the version you've lived through.
And that right there, that explains everything. It's why somebody who grew up poor sees risk in a totally different way than the child of a millionaire. It's why a financial choice that looks absolutely insane to you might feel completely logical to somebody else. Their life just taught them a different lesson.
And look, this isn't just some nice-sounding theory. There is hard data that shows our personal history literally becomes our financial fingerprint, shaping the choices we make for the rest of our lives.
Some economists actually dug through 50 years of data on how Americans invest their money. And what they found was that people's willingness to take risks with their money had nothing to do with their intelligence or education. It was all about their personal history, specifically what the economy was doing when they were in their late teens and early 20s.
Let me show you a really powerful example of this in action. Let's take two people, both perfectly smart, but we're just going to change one little thing: the year they were born.
Okay, so take a look at this chart with me. It shows what the stock market did during the formative years of two different people. If you were born in 1970, that's that incredible top line going way up, you saw the market go on an absolute tear, growing almost 10 times over. The lesson you learned? Stocks make you rich. But if you were born just 20 years earlier, in 1950, that flat line on the bottom, you saw the market go nowhere for years. The lesson you learned? Stocks are a waste of time.
So you have these two people, and through no fault of their own, just the random luck of their birth year, they will walk through the rest of their lives with fundamentally different ideas about how investing works. And here's the thing, neither of them is crazy. They're both just reacting logically to the world they experienced. So the biggest lesson from all this is to try and swap out judgment for a little bit of understanding.
Before you look at someone's money decision and think, wow, that's crazy, just take a second. Remember that their idea of normal was probably forged in a world that looks very, very different from your own.
And that leaves us with a final question we should all probably ask ourselves. Think about your own life, your own experiences. What has your personal history taught you is true about money? And maybe even more importantly, what giant, crucial lessons might you be completely blind to simply because you've never experienced them?